check this out. So I'm working with Gordy today. We were at TCIA in Charlotte, and Damien said that he saw this climber climbing with, he said it was a top handle saw, and it was just called chainsaw. So I got on Amazon, I searched chainsaw, and scrolled down until I found it, and sure enough, I found it. And here it is. I'm gonna open it up. I mean, that says it all right there. Gasoline chainsaw. What else could you want? So we've got a cottonwood to cut down today. And look at that. Chainsaw bar. And
I wonder what chain they got with it.
probably chainsaw chain. There it is.
The chainsaw.
It's a chainsaw. Look, here's the other side.
It's even muffler modded.
Look at that. This thing's got it all. It literally just says gasoline chainsaw on it. We've got a big cottonwood to cut down today. I'm gonna brush it out and top it. Gordy's gonna fall the stem. And we're gonna use chainsaw and see how it does. Did it come with dogs? I don't know if it has dogs either. Oh man, look at this. This thing's got everything. It's a nice chainsaw, Gordy. Try not to be too jealous today of my chainsaw. It came with a file.
Let's see what kind of chain they got going.
Saw chain. So yeah, we got the chainsaw and the saw chain.
All right, let's get some go juice in her.
Only the best fuel, I'm hoping.
That chain.
It's the saw chain.
Look at the hook on it.
I know. Just looking at the grind, it looks like the Holtzforma teeth. I bet there's like a Chinese company that makes all the chain for all the Chinese saws. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just assuming this is Chinese. I guess I don't know, because it's just called chainsaw. Maybe I'm being prejudiced, you know? I am assuming that this is a Chinese saw. Oh. Check this out. The bar wrench. It's a Phillips head. All right, let's fire this up. Let's see, here we go. It's a chainsaw.
There she goes. What CC is this thing?
It's a 2500 chainsaw, so I don't know. I think it's 25 maybe? I don't know. Does it say? No. Things getting hot. It's $135 is what I paid on Amazon for that. Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that
a
thing.
little plunger there.
That's why it was so hard to start. He's gonna be running like a champ now. All right, headed out to work. See you, Russ. All right, so here's the tree we're taking care of. It's a big black cottonwood. So you can see leans really hard towards the house right there. I'm gonna strip it out and get it down to a stub. And then Gordy's gonna either fall the stub right here. Yeah, look at that ivy, that's horrible. Or maybe on the driveway. Yeah, I wouldn't do that one for bar oil. No. This guy's a VP dealer, and so I'm gonna do this job. I'm gonna trade for some VP stuff. Anyways, this thing's pretty beefy. It's probably 40 inch. It's around the 40-inch range. So this guy, Peter DeVries, I think is how you say his name. Anyways, he works for Courant, this company right here. Anyways, he gave me this thing when I was at TCIA. And there's sort of a cultural thing out here on the West Coast. Most guys run steel core flip lines because they're more rigid, easier to flip and stuff. On the East Coast, where they have more broad trees, the rope lanyards are more popular. So this is like a very malleable steel core flip line. Like there's a steel core in there. It's supposed to be sort of like a middle ground. You get a little more rigidity, you know, and a little more security having that steel core on the inside, but it's also a little easier to do, you know, like work positioning and stuff with it. It's, you know, it's easier to just sort of work the flip line and stuff. You know, the steel cores, they're nice for trees like this, advancing the rope up like that, but you start moving sideways and stuff, and it's nice to have something that's really soft, because then you can use it in other crotches for positioning and stuff. So anyways, this is this lanyard that Peter gave me, and I've used it once. This is my second time using it, and I like it a lot. The cam is really user-friendly. You just squeeze that to get more slack out, and then to suck your slack in, you just pull on the back of that. So usually I use the Gibbs Climber on my steel core, which I like, but it's kind of hard to use. I can't remember what this thing's called. I'll put it on the screen, but I like this thing. Seems pretty nice so far. And of course, what's not to love right here? Oh, you know what? Where do I put my lanyard? Usually there's a little ring on the back.
What is that? That's spark plug?
Spark plug. That's funny. It's a top handle saw with no attachment point. Will this fit around there?
Oh yeah.
That'll work. All right. So I can't believe there's no attachment point on the back. That's crazy. I mean, this is designed for climbing, but that'll work. That's gonna mess with the choke lever.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. You know what I can do, actually?
There you go. Cinch it on the handle.
Yeah. That's crazy that there's no saw attachment point to a top handle chainsaw. I didn't even think about looking until. Yeah, this will work. There we go. Look at that, perfect. Chainsaw. All right. It dies when I drop it. Look at it. I'm gonna drop it. Oh! Stayed alive that time. Oh! Okay, now it's stayed on. Dude, what the heck? Just can't put it down, I guess. ridiculous. I might lower the saw down and just have you tweak with it if it keeps doing this. Yeah, you wanna maybe so you can get to run a little better? How high up would you say my rope is right now? The tail of my rope?
6 feet right here.
So it's about 75 feet right here then. So yeah, pretty tall. Yeah, so the chainsaw works great as long as you have an expert saw builder running the ground for you. You just lower it down to him and then he just tweaks with the carburetor every time it's running funky and the saw is gonna run great. Gordy knows a lot about chainsaws. You probably know, but he owns West Coast Saw. He manufactures like aftermarket chainsaw parts. He used to build import saws, but now he's busy enough just making products. Is it doing pretty good on gas still?
I just topped it off.
Cool. Yeah, Gordy, I'm gonna send it back down again. Yeah, it keeps dying. I'm trying to go up, set a like a nice high tie-in spot. I'm just cutting some of these twigs out of my way. I just got the saw back from Gordy and it still doesn't want to idle that good, so setting it back down. Second time. Wow, okay, so my rope's 150 feet long. I've got 18, 20, about 20 feet of rope right here, so yeah, 150. So I'm probably 110 feet right here. Kind of like guesstimating off the rope here, but somewhere around 110 right here. At least 100. Probably 120, 130 foot tall cottonwood. Nothing too crazy. This rope is 150 feet long. Can't remember if I said that. I got this from Arbo Space. It's called Callisto, I think. I like it a lot. Real soft. It's not too stretchy. I don't know. It feels nice in the hands. I like it. And of course my JK lineman boots. I really like these things a lot. They just feel so nice on spurs. Big old heel, big steel shank. 16-inch high leather. Right on the other side of this pad. These boots are awesome for spurs. Even Gordy saying he holds it flat, it idles, he droops it down, it just dies. He can't even get it dialed in down there. I just keep hearing it die down there. Alright, let's try this again. Third time's a charm. Come on, chainsaw. Come on, chainsaw. Hey look, this is weird. Somebody's climbed this tree before. I can see old, really small spike marks in here. I don't know if you can tell on the camera. I mean, they're kind of like triangle shaped. Real subtle. Yeah, right here. See, it's kind of like triangle shaped. And right here. It's so weird. What the heck was somebody doing up here? Doesn't look like this thing's ever been pruned or nothing. And maybe it's just in my head. It looks like spike marks. It is. Look, somebody climbed this tree before. Dude, that makes no sense. What the heck were they doing up here? And why'd they climb it with spikes? It'd be easier to just shoot it from the ground, probably. I actually learned this from one of the students in the Guatemala class. I started throwing this underneath my device when I've got kind of, it's not a super long descent, but it's kind of long. But I just started doing this sometimes. Kind of just makes it smoother. It's easier on the device, I get. And I don't know, just feels nice. All right, chainsaw. Let's chainsaw. long, it might hit the building, so I'll just walk out there and piece it out a little bit. See, I'm a big fan of trying to get out there to the ends and just like peel them down so they kind of swing away whenever you're in doubt. This branch probably would have fit if I cut it from the trunk, but because it's also at an upright angle, it's like longer than you think, because even though it's growing like this, it's going to be flat when it lands. So sometimes these actually reach farther than you think when you cut them from the trunk. These will not stay running. One of the problems with this akimbo is as it heats up, like you get it kind of dialed in, it's really smooth, and then you rappel kind of fast or kind of a long distance and it gets warm and the rope gets a little slippery in it, so it's just real finicky. Okay, chainsaw. Thump. Perfect. I really don't like rigging if I don't have to, so just anything to try to piece this stuff out, I'll just walk out there and tip it back. I just hate all the time it takes, like pull up the rope, lower it down, stuff gets tangled, it gets stuck. I like piecing it out whenever I can. Chainsaw! Yeah, I probably need to lower this one down. Okay. I'm gonna ask for that rope that's in that big green bag, probably in about 20 minutes. I'll have to come back to this. I just don't have a very good angle to try to get to the tips of that. I think it might hit the fence if I cut it here.
What do you want to do, Arlen? You want to let him cut it? Well, I'd rather not lose the fence. I don't think it'll get the fence.
You don't think so?
It's gonna hit that fur and fly off.
You want me to cut it?
I would.
Am I gonna be in trouble if it hits the fence?
Got it.
All right, this is Gordy's orders. It probably won't, honestly. Did it get the fence?
Yeah. It would have missed if the stem wouldn't have kicked that way. Cut the rest of her down.
That wouldn't have happened if I would have had a real chainsaw, you know? Okay, it. It's got gas.
Does it?
Yeah. See, it ran good for that cut. It's so weird, like sometimes it runs pretty good. You know what's weird?
What?
It keeps shutting off and then I keep looking at it and the switch is off. It's either really easy to bump it off or it's doing it automatically. But sometimes it dies, I go to grab it and it's on the off mode. It's weird. Huh. See if I can get this to hold on. Look, I got it's kind of ugly, but I got kind of like a gapped face here with a little snipe right there. Cutting deep into the collar, strongest part of the tree. I want this thing to hold on as long as possible. Let's see if that works. Seemed to make no difference at all. Just a regular notch would have done the same thing. This cottonwood is pretty weak stuff. I always like to try to experiment though, you know, just see, cut it a certain way, see what happens. I don't think somebody spiked it. I think it's all in my head. I don't think anybody spiked this tree. I just don't know what those are. I don't know. It's weird. Oh man, you know, on this type of species, I usually get a little nervous around this point. It starts getting real tall and skinny. I mean, look how easy that just broke. Stuff's brittle. Really brittle. Yeah, look at all that. It's cottonwood for you. I mean, look at even like a big branch. It's like, it's not that small of a branch. They just bust right off. Real brittle trees. Not get closer than that. See if I can slash cut with this thing. Oh yeah, look at that. Slice right through it. And I'm out of gas. I need gas, but when you send the saw up, if you take my rope out of that bag, I mean, you don't gotta take it out of the bag, but just clip the end of that rope so that when I get my saw, I get that rope as well. All right, I'm gonna have to lower these. I'm gonna toast that fence if I don't. That sucks. I tried lowering the saw down and my rope's not long enough. This is a 150-foot rope. Obviously I've got it up there a little bit, but yeah, I guess this tree's probably, it was 15 feet off the ground and I've still got. Yeah, so this tree's probably right about 150 then. Took a look at it this morning, I was like, yeah, it's not that big, nothing to it. And I get up here, I'm like, dang, I got all the room in the world over there, but everything leans over the fence. We can't follow it for a few reasons, and it's kind of a tricky tree. Yeah, this thing's tall. I'll lose maybe a couple feet in the knot too, and it's big bowling, but this thing's up here. All these cottonwoods are. All right, chainsaw. Maybe I'll just set it in the block. See, I just did natural crotch for more friction, but then he wraps around the base of the tree for more friction, so maybe I'll just set this in a block. I never like lowering these tops out of this thing. They just wobble so much, this type of tree. I was having more fun when I could just follow them.
I don't know why you started roping. I just busted the fence.
Yeah, it's because you're a logger.
You already destroyed it. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
What are you doing listening to a logger anyway?
Yeah, it's smoother. God, this thing moves a lot. Look how much this thing's moving. Dude, when you rope out these tops and these gangly cottonwoods, man, they just, ugh, move so much. So because it's all wobbly and noodly like, I'm just gonna take this carabiner because it's a little weaker. I actually wish I had an even weaker one, but this is what I got. I'm gonna clip that there. That way I've got work positioning right here. I can stand securely and cut this, but if for whatever reason this thing breaks, because it is weak wood and Gordy doesn't have a ton of experience running ropes, he's got a lot more experience in the woods, you know, because, and it's kind of a weak wooded tree, in case this thing fails, I don't want to be like all my weight on this thing. And one of the downsides to a steel core lanyard is if something fails and it's resting on you, you can't really cut it. So you can, so just something that's not rated for life support. Really, I like a nice gas station carabiner. They're good for like 100 pounds. You can just slowly ease into it. You can use it for positioning, but you know, my tie-in, my life support's right there. So I do this a lot. Usually I like to have a cheaper carabiner with me. This is the weakest one I got with me. It's still good for like 1,200 pounds, I think. So these are good for like 6,000. So I want there to be like a weak point in case something fails. I don't want to ride this thing down, you know? So we should be all right though. Okay, you ready, Gordy?
Yep.
So yeah, the faster it runs, the better it is. Perfect! Great job! He let it run all the way. Look how much this thing's still moving. You probably can't tell in the video. That was absolutely best case scenario. It was perfect. All the way down to the ground. And this tree's still moving this much. We'll do that one more time. This one's about 20% smaller than the last one. A poured wrap on the bottom works better than wrapping the rope around the trunk, but it's a lot easier to teach somebody. You know, like I said, Gordy doesn't, I think he's used a poured wrap once or twice, but I don't know if I really want him, like, I don't know if he knows how to tie a cow hitch to set it up and everything. It's real easy to tell somebody, hey, just wrap it around the trunk. That's the old school way of doing it, but it's a little less efficient. It's a lot more moving rope around, you know? So same thing, I'm gonna cut a notch and then I'll clip it on. All right, buddy, same deal. It's probably like 40% smaller than the last one, honestly. Okay, ready? Yep. That's perfect. Dude, that's great. Gordy's he's just one of those guys. He's just, everything that he does, he just does a good job. One of the really hard parts about contract climbing is you never know what you're gonna get when it comes to rope guys, you know? Like when I was working at Eastside, I knew everybody's abilities on the ropes. I knew who was good, who wasn't, and everything. Now I'll work with different companies and I never know if they're gonna be good or not on the ropes, and it really sucks when they get scared, they do too many wraps, too much friction, it just locks it up on you. It can be really dangerous for a climber. It's definitely, I think, one of the most dangerous parts of contract climbing, not knowing who's roping for you. Dropping a log! Really pushing this bad boy here. Let's go, look at that. Can't believe how well that lined up. Look at this thing. Oh yeah, dude. See, I know I'm gonna be short. I just keep pulling my bar out and that tells me where my hinge wood is. I'll try to get it like parallel to the hinge wood right here and then I'll go around and nip the other side. But that's why I keep pulling the bar out. It's easier than like going all the way over there to look at it, you know? Just pull the bar out. That's a big piece of wood for that saw. Chainsaw!
Getting it.
I mean, that was a pretty big cut. Yeah, she likes to cut. She doesn't like to idle.
You don't want to sit around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a work saw for sure. It doesn't like sitting around. Gordy asks, do I get to rope some more? I like that roping. All right, there's a GoPro attached to this branch. Hopefully it's still there when it gets to the ground. All right, ready? Awesome. Nice! Yeah, GoPro on that one too. All right, got another one, another small one. All right, I'm gonna throw the rope out. Nope. All right, Gordy's pulling his truck forward and I'll just take the top right there. Chainsaw, 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 chainsaw. Seriously, it's a chainsaw, chainsaw. Chainsaw, chainsaw. Man, this thing is wobbly. All right, taking a chunk. Look. Yeah, one more cut and then I'll take the Makita. All right, goodbye, chainsaw. Yeah, I need a real saw. Send me up that Makita. That's crazy. So even right here is like 100 feet. All right, this will be cool to try out because I have one of these. I reviewed it recently, but this is Gordy's. It's ported by Redbeard Saws. This one's had a lot of work done to it. It'll be interesting to see the difference between mine and this one. It's got a bullet on there. What the heck? There's a lot of compression. Yeah, this thing is crazy. This thing's awesome.
You like it?
Twice as good as mine.
Let's get her down in here in this big stuff. Let her eat.
Dude, this thing's sweet. $1,000 80cc saw. Same engine size as the Stihl 500, but not fuel injected. And $500 cheaper. And it's not auto tune. Let's cut some big wood. Here we go. A little low on my back cut, but got her down. Man, this one's stubborn. Take a little bit out of the face. Man, that thing was stubborn. Look at that, it had like no wood left, but it just kept undermining the face. That's real tricky. You really don't want to leave your saw in there when it starts to go. So I was taking little nibbles. As soon as I saw it move, I got out of the way, and see, I was just nibbling that corner over there. Anyway, so sometimes, you know, if you're out of wedges and stuff, you can actually bring the hinge closer back here. All right, we're done. Gordy's got it from here. Tall. It's still probably 50 feet tall right now. Really deceptively tall. All those cottonwoods are way up there. I gotta say, the Makita was really impressive. It was just chowing through that wood. I mean, it was really nice, really good throttle response. It was idling really well. It runs a lot better than mine does. I thought mine was okay. With chainsaw though, you know, we cut it down with it.
No, you cut it down.
It was a team effort. We did top it with that thing. It wasn't easy. But we did it. So there's like two, what is it? Almost 3 tanks of gas. Because I'm about out of gas right now. That's a lot of gas. The battery saw could easily do what we did with the battery saw. I think the fence looks fine. Nothing to see here. Let Arlen cut this thing. Nice shooting.
Rotten. Right in half.
Surprised there wasn't more water in it.
Well, Gordy, what did you think of Chainsaw? Final thoughts? You love it?
I wish the carburetor was better.
I know, it seems...
It's kind of a bummer that it's like, you know, you tilt it one way and it runs, and then tilt it another way and it doesn't run.
Yeah, it was definitely noticeably worse when it was dangling.
But how did it actually
Which is
cut?
funny because it's, yeah, you know, we did the tree with it. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it got it done. I'm really surprised that there's no attachment point for a carabiner or anything on it. I mean, it's designed for climbing, right? It's a top handle saw.
You think they would have thought of that one?
I know, it's really crazy, really bizarre. Seems like you get what you pay for when it comes to chainsaws. Keep trying to find the magic, like real cheap chainsaw, but it's not out there. Although that Makita is pretty good for the money. But this 135 bucks, it's well, it's a $135 chainsaw. I'll give it that.
Pretty
So
amazing it even runs for 135 bucks.
I know, the fact they could even build it for that is pretty amazing. Shoot, Gordy says that no chainsaw has ever been as high as that one.
Trees that high in China. Do they?
I don't know.
Or Japan, wherever that thing came from.
I don't know where it came from. You know, we're kind of like making fun of the Chinese saws, but shoot, at least the Chinese are making saws.
For $130, I don't even know how they made it.
I know. We don't even have American chainsaws. It's really sad. But yeah, that tree was all of 160. It had to be. It had to be 160.
If that carburetor would have been better, actually that little saw would have done a lot better job. But
Yeah.
I kept leaning it down, and then I would tip it down, and it would want to die. You know?
I bet some Echo carburetor would fit it. I think it's an Echo.
Because you tip it up, and then it started to idle high, and then you tip it down, and it was idling low. So I just tried to find the middle so you could climb with it.
Yeah, I think, maybe if it had a carb swap, maybe it would not be too bad. I mean, that was a big tree we cut down with that thing.
You cut her down, not
160
me.
foot cottonwood. Hey, nice job on the ropes.
Oh, yeah, no
That was
problem.
perfect.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, but you locked the
That
first one up?
That first one burnt my hand.
Yeah.
I thought it was smoking
I
at
should
first.
have warned you there. But you kind of locked up the first one, but it was just a branch, and then you got the groove after that. They were all sailing
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
all the way down. It was great. That was a fun job.